All right, guys, welcome. We're going to today look at making surveys. And look at that fancy little graphic. So here we are, and I am, hopefully going to walk you through this. There's a little bit of a note to fill out, and then once you finish that little bit of note to fill out, then it will be a good time to actually get making your survey. So we'll talk about what that looks like. So here's the note you've got in front of you, surveying. And the basic idea of a survey is this. When you are making a survey, you get people to fill it out, and it helps you to gather information. Basically, we do this. We ask a few people to learn what a bigger group of people think. So if I wanted to know what people thought about something around the school at Eastdale, I wouldn't necessarily ask everybody at Eastdale. And the reason I wouldn't ask everybody at Eastdale is because there's a lot of people at Eastdale, and that would take a lot of time. So what you do is you ask a few people, and if you ask enough people and you're careful to ask the right kind of people, then hopefully you can have a sense of what everybody thinks without having to ask everybody. And that's called surveying. That's called making a sample. Yeah, go nuts. Nope. You want to go in there? Nope. In my office. On the left, you'll see them plugged in. They've got blue lights on the left. And grab one. And when will I have it back, kiddo? Oh, perfect. Great. See you then. So this leads to two terms that we need to know. The term population and the term sample. And a population is the entire group you're interested in knowing about. So, for example, if I wanted to know what everybody at Eastdale thinks about the cafeteria menu, then my population would be everyone at Eastdale. And the sample is the people you actually get to fill out your survey. And it's probably not going to be as big as your population, because usually we don't have time and we can't afford and whatever. It would be a real hassle to get every single person in the school to fill out your survey. So usually we get some of the people in the school to fill out our survey, and we call that a sample. And that could be maybe the first 20 people I saw in the hall. So our sample is almost always smaller than our population. It is very rare to do a survey where you ask every single person. Sometimes you've done a few of those, but mostly we do surveys where we pick 10, 20, 30 people, we see what they think, and then we kind of assume that if we'd asked everybody, we'd have seen something similar. This is called sampling. So now that we know that, we're ready to kind of design our survey. Because again, you're going to actually do this. You're going to make a survey and get people to fill it out. So picking a topic. So topics you could ask, the sky's the limit. You could ask about anything. But you could ask about pets. You could ask about, people's sleep habits. You could ask people about their family. You could ask people about how much they like something. Maybe how much they liked the Super Bowl halftime show. Raiden and I were talking about that earlier today. You can ask them about their favorite classes. I mean, you could ask about anything you want. Cafeteria food. I'm not going to use cafeteria because I can't think how to spell it right now. But we could say the food at Eastdale. I mean, there's a million things you could ask about. And I don't care what you pick as long as it's, reasonable and appropriate for school. But there we go. So these are just some of the ideas that you could choose to ask people about. And when you do that, we're going to do it. Now, this is math class. And because it's math class, that means that I want your questions to have numbers as answers because we're going to use math to analyze the answers. So we're going to use math on them later. So if they don't answer us with numbers, it's going to be harder to do math on them. By the way, not impossible. We'll talk about that. People don't have to answer with numbers for us to do math, but it's easier to do math if you get them to answer in numbers. So look here. There's nothing wrong with making a survey where the answers aren't numbers. You'll do that all the time in life. That's a really reasonable thing to do. But for this class, for math class, I want the answers to be numbers. So let's look at what a good kind of question and a bad kind of question would be if we're trying to get answers that are numbers. Counting is always good. So for example, how many people live in your house? That's just a counted answer. And you would just give them a box and you could say, put the number in the box. 7 people live in my house. Maybe for some of you, the answer is 4 people live in your house. But that would be the first example of question. Just counted. How many people live in your house? Measured is a little different, but this could be, how tall are you? How much does your dog weigh? These are also just numbers that would go in a box, but these ones aren't counted, they're measured. There could be decimals. When you measure a number, the answer could be 4.8 or 6.3. So if you don't like decimal places, if that scares you, you have to worry about units. Maybe I measure in pounds, but somebody else measures in kilograms. Nothing wrong with measured numbers. They're good, but they can be a little trickier. So they can be harder than counted numbers. Something to think about. You might prefer just to stick to counted numbers. Because with counted numbers, it's very easy to work with. This is easy. This is trickier. Rating scales are nice. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy Mr. Orlando's class? Please don't ask that because I don't want to hear the answers. No, I'm kidding. You can ask that. That's a perfectly reasonable question. So here, the only possible answers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is easy and good. We like this. Ranges would be how many days do you miss each semester? And then you could give them multiple choice. 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 10 to 15, 16 to 20, and keep going all the way up to, I guess, 85 to 90 or 86 to 90 would be all of the days in the semester. So you give them a range so that they don't have to remember the exact number. This is a pain. I strongly advise against it. It works, but it's annoying. It's annoying to work with. So it would not be my recommendation. My advice is stick to getting numbers. As soon as you get ranges, it's more annoying to work with. So you can do it, but would not be my suggestion. Okay. What are bad questions? What's your favorite class? Math. Okay, that's not a number. I can't do. All right, I can't do work with that. There's no numbers to work with. All right. So don't give a question that has that. Uneven ranges. How many days did you miss? Zero to 2. B would be like 3 to 10. C would be 11 to 25. Oh, thank you. Oh, can I see? Oh, I think they came out really good.
They look sharp on the black.
Yeah, I like that. Such a good logo.
So I know. So I'm going to send in the courier to somebody I know at Meyer to get Marlene hers.
Oh, nice.
I'll email her.
Oh, perfect.
Do you see Allison Tabor in your travels?
I will.
Let her know like that they're in.
Yeah, I'll send.
I'm kind of catching kids as I'm going by.
Perfect.
2 of them are represented me, so.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
If you make a scale like this, those are all really different sizes. 0 to 2 is a way smaller range than 3 to 10, which is a smaller range than 11 to 25, which is a way smaller range than 26 to 100. And with those ranges being unequal, if you try to work with those numbers later, it's going to be weird. It's going to be a big pain in your butt, and you're going to wish you hadn't done it. So just don't do it. Don't have uneven ranges. And how many, blah, 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 A, 0 to 5, B, 6 to 10, C, 11 to 6 to 15. That should have been 11 up here, now that I think about it. And D, more. Good luck doing math with that more. That will be super, super, super annoying if you try to do any math with it. So my advice is don't. All right? So now you're ready to actually make a survey. And I've decided that, and you can't do the same as me, but here's what I'm going to ask about. I'm going to ask about the Super Bowl. And specifically, I'm going to ask about halftime and about the game. And I know people love watching the commercials. So there we go. So I'm actually going to ask 3 questions, and I'm allowed. But I'm only going to ask people who watch the game. That is my population. I'm interested in people who actually watched the game. And I'm going to sample the first 10 people I find. Who watched it. That's my plan. My first question is going to be really easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy the game? Two, on a scale of 1 to 10, How did you enjoy the halftime show? And I'm going to have question 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you enjoy the commercials? So that's my plan. I like the Super Bowl. I like football. I thought it was a good halftime show. I'm curious to know what other people thought. So these are going to be my questions. All right? So let's give it a shot. Let's design it. So to do that, I am going to open up a browser. All right? And I'm going to travel to office.dsbn.org. All right? office.dsbn.org. And when I get here, I'm going to go to where it says Forms. All right, go into Forms. All right, right here where it says Forms. Okay. I'm going to click Forms. And I've got a million forms here because I use forms all the time. But you're going to make a new one. That's okay. And you're going to go down here. We don't want a quiz. So you're just going to say New Form. And I'm going to call mine Super Bowl Survey! Exclamation mark. This is a survey about how much you enjoyed the Super Bowl, specifically asking about the game, the halftime show, and the commercials. And then I'm going to say add new, and I'm going to make a question. And because my questions are rating based, I'm going to click this one that says rating. And how many levels do I want? I want 10. And we could give them numbers, or we could give them stars. I kind of like the stars. That's fancy. Okay. So there we go. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy the game played between the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals at the Super Bowl? Next question. I'm going to put this one as text, but then I'm going to say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year? And then I could say here and say restrictions, it's got to be a number, and it's got to be a number between 1 and 10. See that? So if I go here and go restrictions, I can say you can't just type anything in here. You've got to write a number between 1 and 10. And add new. And just to show you multiple choice, I'm going to say here, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy the commercials that aired during the Super Bowl? Question mark. And I can make option 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9 and 10. Now, listen. It's actually kind of weird to make a survey where you do like the first one's a scale, the second one you type the number in, and the third one's multiple choice. I just wanted to show you how to make all 3 questions, but you'll probably want to be a bit more consistent than that. But whatever, sky's the limit. You're in charge. Okay, so there is my survey, just like that. And now I'm ready. I can click share, and it gives me a link. And I can click anyone can respond, which is way easier, and then I can just copy that link. And now, anyone who goes to that link can fill out my survey. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy the Super Bowl? It was pretty good. Scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like the halftime show? I thought it was really great. The commercials, whatever, I'm not really a commercial guy. I'd say a 3. Then I submit. And somebody else could submit another version of that, and they could say, I loved it. I hated it. I thought it was okay. Boom. And there we go. And people can submit their answers. And the nice thing is, as they do it, I get their answers, which is really helpful. So we'll talk about that. So that's your task today, to make a survey after you've filled out this note and to share it with people. And if you need help sharing it, let me know. I'll help you share it. But you've got to get at least 10 people to fill out your survey. At least 10. All right.